I posted my father's real hospital visitor log in the family waiting room the day he told his nurse, in front of my stepmother, that I never bother showing up. 31 signed visits, all mine in his own handwriting, requesting me every time. My dad had open heart surgery 6 weeks ago. Triple bypass. The kind of surgery where the surgeon sits you down beforehand and says, there is a chance he doesn't come back out. So I took 2 weeks off work, drove 4 hours both ways every single visit, and I was there. Every time. Sometimes he was awake, sometimes he wasn't, sometimes he just held my hand and fell back asleep while the machines beat. I didn't care. I signed in every single time at the nurse's station because they required it for the cardiac unit. You walk in, you print your name, you sign, you write the time. It's just what you do. I didn't think anything of it. My stepmother Diane is my dad's wife of 11 years. She and I have a functional relationship. Not warm, not close, but we can be in the same room without it becoming a thing. Or so I thought. What I didn't know, and what I only found out about 2 weeks into my dad's recovery, is that Diane had been telling people I wasn't visiting. Not just hinting, not just omitting. Telling people. My aunt called me asking if everything was okay between me and my father because she'd heard I'd only been to see him once. My cousin texted me some careful message about how it might mean a lot if I came by soon. I didn't put it together at first. I just thought word had gotten mangled somehow, the way it does in families. Then my dad said it to his nurse. I walked into his room on a Wednesday around 2 p.m. He was in the middle of talking to one of his nurses. This woman named Patricia, who'd been on his floor the whole time and knew me by name at that point. And I heard him say, mid-sentence, that it had been hard being in the hospital because most of his family lived far away and his son never really bothered to show up. Patricia looked at me walking through the door at that exact second, and her face did this thing, this quick flash of something before she got professional again. My dad turned around, saw me, and just said, hey, you made it. Like nothing. Like I hadn't just heard him. Diane was in the chair in the corner. She looked at the window. I sat down. I talked to my dad for 2 hours. I drove home. I didn't say anything, but I thought about what he said the entire 4 hours. I thought about how many times I'd sat in that room alone because Diane would go home to sleep in her own bed, and my dad would tell me he was glad I stayed. The next morning, I called the cardiac unit and asked if patient visitor logs were accessible to family members. They said the log was kept at the nurse's station and I could request a copy of the sign-in sheet from my father's room, which they'd provide to immediate family. I drove back up there that afternoon, not for a visit, just for the log. 31 entries. 31 times I'd printed my name and signed in. My handwriting, my signature, the times I arrived. A few of them had notes in the margin in my dad's handwriting from early in the recovery when he was more alert and would ask the nurses to record when he'd specifically requested I come back. 3 entries that literally said patient request, son, next to my name. I made 2 copies. I went back the following Saturday when I knew Diane would be there and my dad's brother, Uncle Ron, was visiting from out of state. Ron is the one who calls my dad's siblings. Whatever Ron sees, the whole family hears about within 48 hours. I timed it. I didn't say anything when I walked in. I hugged my dad, shook Ron's hand, sat down. We talked for maybe 20 minutes about normal things. My dad's therapy schedule, whether he could have salt yet. Then I said I had something I wanted to share with everyone, just so there was no more confusion. I took out the log and set a copy on the rolling tray table next to my dad's bed and handed the second copy to Ron. I said I counted 31 visits. 3 of them the nurses noted were at dad's specific request. I wanted everyone to have the actual record because I've been hearing that some people think I haven't been showing up. Nobody said anything for a second. His face went very still in the way that meant he understood exactly what was happening. Ron looked at his copy and then looked at Diane. Diane said I was making it into something it wasn't. I said, into what? A list of dates? My dad hasn't said a word to Diane about it in front of me. But Patricia told me, the next time I came in, that the nurses had been wondering when someone was going to say something.